Governments rest on the consent of the governed, and it is a right to alter or abolish them whenever they become destructive of the ends for which they were established. Jefferson Davis's first inaugural address as President of the Confederacy.
The Philadelphia Convention of 1787 failed to definitively address the issues of slavery and states' rights, allowing Southern economic interests to become increasingly sidelined, and to let the government challenge the very existence of slavery. Finally, in 1861, 11 Southern states exercised this right to alter or abolish their government by seceding from the United States.
Nicole and I agree that the Confederate States of America had a constitutional right to secede from the Union for three reasons. First, the Founding Fathers set a precedent during the American Revolution that the fundamental right to dissolve the government existed with the Declaration of Independence. The Southern states felt that they too had suffered a long train of abuses as Congress continually funded internal improvements favoring the North and the West, such as the Erie Canal, while unfairly taxing the South to pay for them. Second, the Confederate States interpreted the Constitution using the theory of original intent. The South believed the Articles of Confederation recognized state sovereignty by creating a firm league of friendship that was then continued by the Constitution's union. The Constitution created a compact between the states that could be broken when it failed to protect the state liberties. To deny the right to secede would be to violate the intentions of the Constitution.
Third, the Confederacy held that the Northern states violated the fundamental rights of the Southern states embodied in the Constitution, making the Union null and void. For example, in the South Carolina Article of Secession, South Carolina states its interests lie in the property rights of slaveholders, and thus when the North violated the Fugitive Slave Clause of the Constitution, its interests were not carried out. The government must protect the interest of all parties involved.
In contrast, Ashley, Hannah, and I agree with President Lincoln that Southern secession during the Civil War was unconstitutional, citing the Articles of Association of 1774, which first established a common bond among the colonies during the Revolution, and then the Articles of Confederation, which continued this idea of unity. Lincoln tried to preserve the nation that predated the Constitution. Secession violated the Founders' Perpetual Union.
Furthermore, Lincoln strictly interpreted the Constitution to be a contract between the people and the government, not a compact between the states. The preamble of the Constitution begins, "We the people," implying that sovereignty is with the people. In his first inaugural address, Lincoln states the Constitution is a contract that cannot be peacefully unmade by less than all the parties who made it. The Southern states had no right to leave the Union without the approval of the people and all the states who ratified the Constitution.
This is why Hannah, Sean, and I believe no democratic constitution should include a clause that would allow for secession, because this clause would allow for the document's own destruction. It would contradict the basic principle of a constitution, which is to provide avenues for a government to fix itself without having to be destroyed. Our Constitution, as stated in Texas v. White, 1868, looks to an indestructible union composed of indestructible states. Daniel and I believe that the right to secession should be included in constitutions because it is a right of the people and the states. Under John Locke's social contract theory, individuals have the right to alter or abolish a government that is depriving them of inalienable rights. Furthermore, a government gains its powers through the voluntary submission of power from the states and thus can subsequently lose its power through the withdrawal of consent.
The end of the Civil War proved Lincoln's argument in his first inaugural address true. The union of these states will endure forever. It is impossible to destroy. Secession is wholly inadmissible. Thank you.
Can you evaluate some modern secessionist movements going on today and whether or not you think they're justified?
Well, the fall of the Soviet Union was accomplished mostly through secession in the late 80s and early 90s. The Soviet Constitution had a clause which allowed for the secession of the satellite states, which was recognized as a 2/3 majority of the people within the state voting for secession. And it's this clause within their constitution that allowed for a peaceful dissolvement of their government.
And I think also, in 1905, in past history, Sweden and Norway were able to successfully secede peacefully. And nowadays we look to Kosovo recently seceding from Serbia, and there's been very bloody battles over this because Serbia does not want to lose Kosovo. from Canada because they feel they are an ethnic minority within their country and that they are unified within Quebec and that they can form their own country. I feel that Quebec should be able to secede because they have a unified language and they are cohesive and that they would form a good country by themselves.
In addition, within the United States, we are seeing less of necessarily states wishing to secede, like with the Confederacy, but more of individual counties wishing to depart from their state, such as Jefferson County in Northern California, identifies themselves more with Southern Oregon than they do with California. And so they wish, they petition for the right to secede from the state of California. And I think another way that secession can be applied to the United States is more through the state territories, the United States territories, because these territories don't have all the full rights of citizens that are in the states. And I could see these territories wishing to gain independence from the United States in the future.
And we can see also in the southeastern corner of California, those counties are also and have been in the past trying to join Arizona more for economic reasons and legal reasons such as tax.